morning now at 7, a 16-year-old boy is found shot on a suburban street, and despite efforts to save him, he didn't make it. We'll have a live report from Des Plaines.
The St. Ignatius High School hockey team returns to the ice for the first time since a terrible crash that sent players and coaches to the hospital.
And today is a day of service as we celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It is Monday, January 16th.
Live from Chicago's #1 news, ABC 7 Eyewitness News at 7 starts streaming now.
Good morning, I'm Val Warner.
And I'm Karen Jordan in for Terrell Brown. He has the morning off.
And we're going to take a look outside, and right now it looks pretty, kind of. But we do know that the wind and the wet weather, and you will need your umbrella, that is all in the forecast, Tracy.
It sure is. And it's already making an appearance out to the west. As you can see, if you're in LaSalle, if you're in Sandwich this morning, Sycamore, you're starting to get some of that rain there. Here in the city, we will get the rain here too. It will become widespread over the next hour, and then it's going to be around here at least into the early mid part of the afternoon. Then mid to late afternoon, we get a little bit of a lull. Then out ahead of a cold front, we get another little round of some rain here middle of the evening. Temperatures currently are in the 40s around the area. We'll go through that 7-day for you coming up. Roz?
Yeah, we are pretty much delay-free on the expressways and tollways right now, but we've got a couple of incidents that we've been keeping an eye on. We've got a crash on southbound DuSable Lakeshore Drive right around Soldier Field, so pretty sizable delay is developing at that location. And then we've got this crash in Elk Grove Village. This is going to be at the intersection of Toohey and Mount Prospect Road. Chopper 7's over it. They have temporarily shut down eastbound Toohey so they can clear the vehicles. Only 2 cars were involved, but a lot of emergency crews responded there, so it's causing about a half-mile backup. Traffic will be getting through once they get everything cleared, so give it a little time and you should be able to get through without any issues. We'll keep an eye on it for you. Val and Karen, back to you.
All right, Roz, thank you. Breaking overnight, sad news, a 16-year-old boy has died after being shot in northwest suburban Des Plaines.
And this happened late last night in the 1300 block of Perry Street. Jessica D'Onofrio is live at the Des Plaines Police Department with more. Jess.
Val and Karen, it's unclear what motivated this deadly shooting. All police will say is that they believe this is an isolated incident. The Des Plaines Police Department says just after 9:30 last night, officers were dispatched to the 1300 block of Perry Street for a report of shots fired. When they got there, officers found a 16-year-old boy injured on the street. Police say he had been shot multiple times. The Des Plaines Fire Department attempted life-saving measures, but the 16-year-old did not survive. One resident telling us he's shocked and frightened.
You live here a while?
Or? Almost 8 years.
And you've never seen?
Nothing like this before. I'm very scared now, so I will probably head back inside.
Detectives spent the night gathering evidence at the scene. Meanwhile, police say this deadly shooting remains under investigation, and they will share more as the investigation develops. Police tell us that there is no threat to the general public, and again, they believe this was an isolated incident. Val, back to you.
All right, Jess, thank you. There were a number of shootings in Chicago overnight. In one incident, a 20-year-old man has died after being shot near a bus stop on Chicago's South Side. Police say the shooter pulled up in a gray Dodge Durango, got out of the truck and fired. And this was after midnight near 87th and Dan Ryan. The victim was pronounced dead at a hospital, and police are still looking for that shooter.
Happening today, Chicagoans are remembering the life and legacy of Reverend Martin Luther King Jr.
Christian Picos joins us live now on with more on what's happening there today. Christian.
Hey, Val and Karen, good morning. Chicago residents, of course, have been giving back for nearly 30 years as part of the city's annual MLK Day of Service celebrations. And today, one of the biggest service projects is happening at Parkside Elementary School on the south side, where hundreds of volunteers are expected to come together to help beautify that school. Mayor Lori Lightfoot will be joining other local, state, and federal leaders, including CPS CEO Pedro Martinez, Governor J.B. Pritzker, and Senator Tammy Duckworth, among many others. Roughly 400 volunteers will come together today to help beautify Parkside. beautified by painting school hallways and classrooms, as well as inspirational murals of historical figures. Last year, volunteers beautified Tanner Elementary School, painting, organizing closets, and also designing a mural there. Others spent the day building furniture and decorating the then new headquarters for the Girls Like Me project in Bronzeville, which is an organization that teaches media literacy to young African-American girls. This year also marks the 60th anniversary of Martin Luther King's famous I Have a Dream speech and his March on Washington. That service project at Parkside Elementary School begins at 10 o'clock this morning. Back to you.
All right, Christian, thank you. In Aurora, there is another event to honor the legacy of Dr. King. It's the 38th annual ceremony in the far western suburb inspired by the civil rights trailblazer. Students and community groups join in the celebration of Dr. King's achievements that have touched so many generations.
The Rainbow Push Coalition is holding its 33rd annual scholarship breakfast this morning to honor the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. More than $8 million have gone towards supporting thousands of students of color at colleges and universities since 1991. Rainbow Push will also launch a new initiative to help students impacted by COVID-19 and the economy. Our Evelyn Holmes will be the MC.
And Republicans are ramping up their own investigations into the classified materials found at President Biden's home in Wilmington, Delaware, and a Washington, D.C. office.
And most recently, the White House announced 5 more pages of classified documents were discovered last week at President Biden's Delaware home. ABC's Jay O'Brien is joining us live from Washington with more on that. Good morning, Jay.
Val and Karen, good morning. Congressional Republicans are signaling that the recent appointment of a special counsel in this case is not going to stop them from conducting their own investigations into these Biden documents. This morning, congressional Republicans demanding more information about who came and went from President Biden's home in Wilmington, Delaware, after the White House disclosed more classified documents were found at the president's residence. In a letter to the White House, James Comer, the new chair of the House Oversight Committee, asking for the visitors' logs from the president's Wilmington home.
We want to know the visitor logs to the residence. We want to know who had access to the Biden Center for Diplomacy, because this is the same type of investigation that the Democrats were so outraged and launched and demanded happen to President Trump.
And the House Judiciary Committee launching a second investigation into how the Department of Justice handled the Biden documents case. Republicans drawing comparisons to the FBI's raid on former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago this summer and discovery of top-secret documents there as well.
We will have a role in overseeing what's transpiring here. What's real concerning to me is how justice is applied, and is it applied equally?
But Democrats pointing out the Biden team handled the classified documents properly, immediately contacting the National Archives after they were discovered, while Trump's lawyers stonewalled federal investigators for months.
Broad cooperation from the president, who clearly takes this very seriously.
The White House has signaled that it will fully cooperate with the special counsel, but it's unclear how they'll respond to these Republican-led investigations in the House, which some administration officials have already called politically motivated. Val.
All right, Jay O'Brien live in Washington. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker heads to Switzerland this week. He will speak at the World Economic Forum's annual meeting in Davos. He is expected to promote Illinois' economic initiatives.
The Chicago mayoral election is nearly 6 weeks away, and voters have a better idea of what the candidates stand for after 2 forums yesterday. The first was held at the historic Quinn Chapel AME Church on the South Side. It was hosted by the People's Response Network. That's a racially diverse organization of public workers, organizers, and activists. The 47th Ward Democrats hosted the second forum. It was at Lane Tech High School. Candidates discussed issues including Chicago's budget shortfall and crime. Afterwards, voters told us they listened carefully to everyone's answers, and they included the mother of a victim of gun violence.
I want to see the police force funded. I want to see extra detectives. I want to see extra beat patrols. I want to see accountability at every single level from our government across the city.
Okay, this is what I thought when I listened to these people. I really feel that they love the city, and they love most people here. But I think the issue is taking the city to another level. Chicago is a great city.
And the election is February 28th.
ABC 7 is hosting a debate between all 9 candidates in the race for Chicago mayor. The 90-minute debate, produced in partnership with the League of Women Voters and Univision, is set for Thursday at 7 p.m. You can watch it live on digital channel 7.2, as well as our streaming platforms. We'll rebroadcast the debate Sunday at 10:30 p.m. here on ABC 7.
We're hearing from Chicago police officer Danny Golden for the first time since he was shot. His family hosted an event for the community as a way of saying thank you. Yesterday's event in Mount Greenwood Park included ice skating and free food. It's been more than 6 months since the 6-year veteran of the police department was paralyzed. He was shot in a bar fight, and prosecutors say Golden was trying to break it up. Golden says he's making progress in his recovery. He hopes to get back to work in some capacity.
I want to get back on a job eventually, stay busy, do something within the department, so hopefully it all works out.
And the community has raised nearly $1.5 million to help Golden with medical expenses.
A big crowd was on hand last night to welcome the return to the ice of the St. Ignatius Junior Varsity hockey team. The team suiting up for the first time since a crash that sent 16 players and coaches to the hospital. 3 of those students are still recovering from critical injuries, but were in attendance last night. Over the past few months, hundreds of letters have poured in and are now hanging on the walls, proof of the support for these student athletes.
The support has been overwhelming in a good way, not only from a tight-knit hockey community across the world, but from around the nation, overseas. We've heard from people, so it's just been immaculate.
Before the game, the team honored the first responders who helped save their lives that night of the accident in an emotional ceremony on the ice.
It is 7:12 right now. Your live and local news just getting started as we stream out loud this morning. Coming up, are your gas and electric bills too high? Consumer investigator Jason Knowles has some quick tips to help you save next.
And a soggy start to the week. Tracy's got your AccuWeather forecast coming up.
Hi, here's a battling energy cost quick tip. Higher energy costs are facing homeowners. In the Midwest, the average monthly heating bill is up 33% according to a new study from MoneyGeek. That study also ranks Illinois as the 5th in the nation when it comes to high heating bills. So put up curtains. In the winter, keep them open during the day to get sunlight and closed at night to keep the heat inside. Use weather stripping. Get some rubber foam weather stripping material and seal doors connected to the outdoors. Get a smart thermostat to learn your energy habits. It can schedule your heating and AC depending on your need. You could save 10 to 15% on your bill, according to experts. For electricity savings, unplug unused devices which still suck up energy and turn lights off when you're not using them. Jason Knowles, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Jason. Well, good morning, everybody. This morning, how about it? We're still dry here in the city, but rain is on the way. You look, and we're seeing the leading edge just starting to move toward McHenry County. But if you're in DeKalb, if you're in the Hinckley area, you're getting some of that rain through Yorkville down toward Mazon and Morris as well. So the rain will continue to spread eastward as we go through the next hour, 2 hours, and then it's kind of steady into the early part of the afternoon. 43 degrees right now at O'Hare, 43 at Midway, 41 right now in Gary. Overall, increasingly more wet, increasingly more windy. Temperatures are going to increase, and in fact, I think we're going to hit the high for the day during the evening hours today. This is just prior to a cold front moving in. And behind that front tomorrow, it's not going to be all that cold, but tomorrow we are going to have gray skies and patchy drizzle through the day. All in all, quiet week, very little sun in the schedule. Cold, uneventful weekend. Roz?
We're looking at great conditions, though, on the expressways. No problems, no weather-related problems or issues, no crashes. We have had a couple of crashes, though, throughout the morning. This one's in the city on the northwest side, 3 cars at Fullerton and Austin, and we are seeing delays in that area. So northwest side, please be careful if you need to go through there. We also have been talking about this crash on southbound DuSable Lakeshore Drive near Soldier Field. Now, at one point, they had all lanes closed to clear it. Chopper 7's over it. They still have 1 Chicago squad car blocking a lane. 2, another one just pulled up. But you see where they have those cones there in the middle of your screen? There is a manhole cover missing. And it's very possible that maybe one of the vehicles went over that and that's what caused the crash. Don't know, but they've put some barricades, some cones in front of it to prevent people from driving over it until they can replace it. And it is still causing a little bit of a delay there on southbound DuSable Lakeshore Drive. That's right where all the traffic merges in coming off of Columbus Drive. So just be aware that they're out there. Karen, back to you.
Well, one expert says that it could have been the worst aviation disaster in American history. 2 passenger planes nearly collided on the runway at New York's JFK Airport. This morning, we're hearing the very moment when the air traffic controller prevented a catastrophe. Here's ABC's Andrea Fujii.
The passengers involved in a near T-bone collision at New York's JFK Airport say they're still shaken by the close call.
I will never not wear my seatbelt on a plane.
A panicked air traffic controller Friday night noticed an American Airlines plane on the same runway as a Delta plane, which had just been cleared for takeoff.
Delta 1943, cancel takeoff clearance.
The 2 planes missed each other by just 1,000 feet. The Delta pilot slamming on the brakes at 115 miles per hour. Brian Healy was on the Delta flight.
Everyone's torso sort of was thrust forward. I'm just very grateful that the judgment calls that air traffic control made and that our pilot made were the right ones.
The FAA and the NTSB are now investigating, but the air traffic controller was heard telling the American pilot he did not have clearance to be on that runway.
Obviously, there were mistakes made. Human error was involved. So the real key here now is to find out by whom, what were the circumstances, but most importantly, finding ways to put procedures in place to make sure that it never happens again.
American Airlines has not commented on the near miss. In a statement, Delta said, "The safety of our customers and crew is always Delta's #1 priority." More than 150 people were on the Delta flight alone. Experts say the air traffic controller who alerted the pilot should get credit for averting a catastrophe.
This could have been the worst aviation disaster in U.S. history. That guy saved the day. So, kudos to him.
Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
This morning in the war in Ukraine, the death toll is rising from a missile strike on an apartment building in the city of Dnipro. At least 35 people have been killed. Others are still missing after Saturday's strike, blamed on Russia. About 1,700 people lived in the multi-story building. The reported death toll makes it the deadliest attack in one place since the September 30th strike in another region of Ukraine. Still to come this morning, some Metro passengers have more train options starting today. Plus, voting opens to name Chicago's snowplows. Still ahead.
Eyewitness News, streaming at 7, continues after a break.
Welcome back. Starting today, riders along Metra's Southwest line will have more trains to choose from. Metra's increasing the number of weekday trains from 12 to 30. An express train is being added in each direction, and there will be a later evening departures from Union Station as well.
Today, all Portillo's drive-through locations will no longer accept cash payments from customers. The company says the change is being done for the safety of its employees. Several drive-through workers have been robbed or threatened while on the job. Portillo's also expects the new system to shorten those drive-through times. Thank goodness. You can I think this is you, Karen.
Oh, it's okay. No worries. Well, you can cast your vote online for the City Snowplow naming contest today. Plenty of creativity on display among the submitted names, such as Sears Plower, Off to See the Blizzard, or your favorite, Looper
Yeah,
Scooper.
I like Looper Scooper for some reason.
To name just a few, voting will remain open through the end of the month. 6 winners will be chosen, and voting is on the city's website. You can find a link on our website, abc7chicago.com.
I do like Off to See the Blizzard as well.
That's clever.
Yeah, that is pretty clever, so we'll see what it is. All right, right now we're going to link up with our Good Morning America viewers. I'm going to have a news update on TV in just a bit, and you'll see it here as well.
And when we come back, we'll see how an area police department is using a new app to help keep people safe.
Now, an update from ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Good morning at 7:23. I'm Val Warner. Police in Des Plaines are investigating a shooting last night which killed a 16-year-old boy. The boy was found around 9:30 p.m. in the street with multiple gunshot wounds. The Des Plaines Fire Department says it attempted life-saving measures, but he did not survive. We are told police consider this to be an isolated incident and there is no threat to the general public. It's unclear what may have been the motive for the shooting. Let's get a check of the ABC7 AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Tracy Butler. Tracy.
Val, thank you. Well, good morning, everybody. And we are starting off with the rain that is moving in to many of our far west suburbs. And as we go through the day today, this rain is going to continue to kind of soak the area as we go into the latter part of the morning and at least the first half of the afternoon. Later afternoon, we get a little bit of a lull. Before mid-evening, another round of some rain comes back. Temperature-wise, we're in the 40s. Currently 43 in Joliet, 43 at O'Hare, and 41 degrees right now in Gary. Our high temperatures in the mid to upper 40s today most likely occur this evening. Looks like a very gray week ahead. Roz is ahead after this break.
Now's the time for a healthy start. So let's move. Let's rest and recharge. And put our health first. Let's be well. To do that, let's eat well. Breathe deep. Find joy in the little moments. And do what we love with who we love. Together, let's live well. Advocate Aurora Health.
Welcome back, everybody. We start with some police activity ongoing in the West Garfield Park neighborhood at the intersection of Pulaski and Monroe. This is a deadly shooting investigation, and they do have Pulaski blocked for a couple of blocks between Monroe and Wilcox, and it's also affecting the CTA number 53 Pulaski buses. They are rerouting around the intersection. Big picture, though, we are not seeing hardly any congestion on the expressways. Couple of slow pockets inbound on the Stevenson at the Ryan. Other than that, things look good. There's the Kennedy. Everything is moving well. Should be an easy commute this morning.
Welcome back, everybody. Time now 7:27, 43 degrees out there, but Tracy's been telling us all morning that you see those clouds there? We are already starting to see some precipitation coming down in some parts of the viewing area, and going to be pretty windy too, so she'll have the full forecast coming up in just a bit.
That's right. Be prepared to have your umbrellas going if you're going to do your community service for the MLK holiday out there. As for now, the East Chicago, Indiana Police Department is hoping to keep city streets safer with a new app. The department is using the app Atlas One to hopefully build bridges with residents while also keeping them safe. The app's technology allows police to send location-based push alerts to residents if an incident is happening nearby. Tips can also be submitted anonymously from a user's phone. More than 100 residents have already downloaded the app.
Wow, that sounds like a great idea, and good thing that the community is getting on board with it as well. All right, coming up this morning, we will get caught up on today's top stories. It is a day of action and service as the nation celebrates the life and legacy of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Plus, a 16-year-old boy died overnight after Des Plaines police found him with several gunshot wounds lying in the street.
You're watching ABC 7 Eyewitness News at 7, streaming live now.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's take a look at some of the stories that we will be watching for you today. A 16-year-old boy has died after being found shot in northwest suburban Des Plaines, and police say officers were dispatched to the 1300 block of Perry Street last night for a report of shots fired. When they got there, officers found the boy in the street. The Des Plaines Fire Department attempted life-saving measures, but the teen did not survive. Police say that this appears to be an isolated incident and there is no threat to the general public.
In Chicago, a 25-year-old man has been shot and killed near Rockwell and Fitch on the city's north side. Police say he was a passenger in a vehicle when someone in a black sedan fired shots before midnight. No word of any arrest.
And there are events across the area today on this federal holiday to honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. One of the biggest is happening at Parkside Elementary School on Chicago's South Side. That's where volunteers will help with improvements at the campus. Meanwhile, the Rainbow Push Coalition will hold its 33rd annual scholarship breakfast this morning. Good morning and welcome back. I'm Karen Jordan in for Terrell.
And I'm Val Warner. Good to be with you this morning. We are going to take a live look outside. It is a dreary looking kind of day. And Tracy, has that rain started arriving in some areas?
It sure has, Val. Good morning. Good morning, Karen. And yes, this morning, you look at the radar areas out to the west, we're starting to see the rain picking up. But it's out toward LaSalle, Mendota, where we're seeing it becoming a little bit more widespread and a little bit more moderate to heavy. This rain will continue to head toward our direction here in the loop, and once it gets going, we'll have rain around through the better part of the morning. Now, here we go, 4 o'clock this afternoon. You can see there's kind of a bit of a lull in the wet weather, and that'll be some good news briefly, but then we get some rain right back in here as a cold front is going to be making its approach. Currently, temperatures are mainly in the 40s, so we don't have any worries about ice, but we will get the inconvenience of the rain. Roz?
Right now, we're getting word of a possible crash southbound or inbound on the Edens right around Gulf Road. IDOT crews are heading in that direction. But you can see we barely have any delays on the expressways this morning. And we do have this situation on southbound DuSable Lakeshore Drive right before Soldier Field. The center lane is missing a sewer cover, a manhole cover. They put some barricades up there, a couple of barrels, so people have to go around it until they can replace it. It's causing a little bit of a delay there. So just be aware of that for the time being, but everything else looks good. Here's the Dan Ryan, our White Sox camera. Look how light that traffic volume is. Same thing with the tollways. Here's our Rosemont camera, I-90, the Jane Addams at the Devon Cash Box. It is flowing well in both directions. Val and Karen, back to you.
All right, Roz, make your way on over here. Now to today's talkers. The stars were out in full force last night for the Critics' Choice Awards.
That's right. It was another big night for Abbott Elementary, ABC7's own Kate Blanchett and Brendan Fraser. ABC's Will Gans takes us to Los Angeles.
Don't call it a comeback.
Brendan Fraser.
Call it the Brennaissance.
You just feel like you're in a dark sea. I want you to know that if you too can have the strength to just get to your feet and go to the light, good things will happen.
The Critics' Choice Awards proving to be a night of powerful speeches. Cheryl Lee Ralph winning Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series for Abbott Elementary.
When you look in the mirror, you better love what you see. You better love what you see.
And the darling of this award season, Jennifer Coolidge.
For anyone who's sort of given up hope, I hope this gives you inspiration. It's not over till it's over. It's not over till you're dead.
And no one is a better example of that than Ke Huy Quan, Best Supporting Actor for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I'm going to try real hard to not cry tonight.
It's been quite a while since he's been on the big screen in The Goonies and Indiana Jones. The Critics' Choice Awards proving that even the biggest stars need to call in a few favors sometimes.
Julia Roberts earlier presented me with a bottle of mouthwash. So thank you, Julia.
And that all bets are off when Chelsea Handler is hosting.
As part of Viola's training for the film, she was given a DNA test to determine the best workout regimen for her genetic makeup, which also coincidentally revealed that she is Nick Cannon's daughter.
And as we look ahead to the Academy Awards, Everything Everywhere All at Once is coming on strong after winning Best Picture and Best Director last night. Oscar nominations will be announced Tuesday of next week. Will Gans, ABC News, New York.
Well, we want to welcome in Tracy and Roz. And while we are appreciating the coverage and the highlights of what we've been seeing with you all this morning, I was watching football. Last night, and I know you were watching football on the way to bed.
I was watching the images behind my eyelids.
Yeah.
These award shows are just coming out like, I don't know. I wasn't expecting them.
I know. I looked. I didn't even realize the Golden Globes happened until
it's
after
like this time of year. Boom, 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 boom.
Right.
And everything leading up to the Oscars.
Right. And I get. Let's not miss the Oscars. I believe the Oscars is usually early March, right? Is it late February or early March?
They keep changing.
Yeah, they do. It keeps getting later and later, actually. So I don't know.
All right. Well, we're going to be definitely on watching the Oscars. That's for sure.
Well, okay, so we have another big night in fashion and glamour this weekend in New Orleans. Fashion designer Armani Gabriel claimed the crown at the 71st Miss Universe competition as the first Filipino American to win Miss USA. The former Miss Texas has made a name for herself as an eco-friendly clothing designer and sewing instructor who prioritizes the environment in her work. Gorgeous. Well, congratulations to her, Miss Universe.
And this is what we're talking about, because earlier we said that while she had this beautiful orange swimsuit, the cape is all made from sustainable products, plastic and bottles that she recycled. And she made that cape with that.
I mean, first of all, the ingenuity for that and the creativity, that alone really should be awarded. And look at her.
You know what's so amazing about this? The message that it sends, that it's not just a beauty pageant. It's so more in depth, so many more important things.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about the sustainability and saving the earth. And I mean, it's very important.
It has definitely evolved, and she has the most gorgeous smile.
Yes, she does.
Can we just talk about her smile? Like, literally, you see all of her teeth, and they're perfect, and just a beautiful smile. It's definitely going to light up. I can see any room that she's in and why she is the winner of that competition for sure. So congratulations to her. Well, a Kobe Bryant game-worn jersey is going up for auction, and it is expected to fetch between $5 and $7 million. It is the same number 24 jersey Bryant wore in the now iconic image of his celebration during the 2008 playoffs. Bidding starts next month.
And it could go up for up to $7 million?
Yes.
That's what they're saying. Wow, how incredible. And I mean, look at it. And this is an iconic jersey, right? It's the one that he's grasping in that that photo where during the 2008 playoffs.
Yeah, look at the stitching there on the side too. You can even tell, right? He stretched it out so much that he tore the stitching. But another basketball great that it's like, wow, Kobe Bryant is gone, and felt like he was just so young, had so much to do now on the other side of the basketball court. But his family, I'm sure, and daughters are still keeping his memory and his legacy alive. And somebody is going to have their legacy alive in their basement or wrapped up in some sort of enshrined case.
You know, I was watching Celebrity Jeopardy last week, and Candace Parker was on, and she was talking about the organization that her charity money will go from being on Jeopardy, is helping an organization that Kobe Bryant and his daughter were very involved with. And I thought that was just such a nice nod,
A nice nod. And then, he had his organization too, and it's leaving me right now, that he started for his daughter, the girls basketball.
Is it Mamba? No. No.
I know it was the Mamba facility. I don't know. I'm messing it up. But anyway, so ladies, I want to ask you, is there anything, let's just say we all had $7 million to spare.
Oh, wow.
Let's just say, let's pretend for a second
Money
that we had $7 million to spare. Is there anything that you would bid on to spend possibly $5 to $7 million? Like, what's that thing that you're like, I gotta have it, and I would spend $5 to $7 million on?
Oh,
I need time to think about that.
Yeah, I know.
I can't just off the top of my head think of something.
I was thinking about, for Tracy, something with
Tom Petty.
Tom Petty.
Guitar.
I was just gonna say maybe a Tom Petty guitar, not the pick or whatever. That's too little, right? You would need a guitar.
Yeah.
What about a Tom Petty worn leather jacket or something?
Yes, absolutely. Now you're talking.
Okay, see?
Yeah.
I'm thinking for Ross.
What about you?
Yeah. Let's put you on
supposed to ask the questions.
No.
Is there something that I would spend? It would, knowing me, and I don't know what it is, but it would be something fashion related, because I just love fashion. So it would be something that somebody wore that I've always thought was gorgeous. Maybe a Oscar gown or something that somebody wore and they put it up for auction, who's now no longer with us. Maybe that.
With diamond encrusted Crocs.
I don't think I want diamond. I'm gonna give my $7 million. I don't want diamond encrusted Crocs. That's for you. I'll spend my $7 million on your diamond encrusted Crocs. ABC 7 Eyewitness News continues streaming out loud after the break. We are back in 90 seconds. I don't know, diamond encrusted. I might rethink that.
Well, good morning to you. We are awaiting rain, and it is moving in to many of our far west, far southwest suburbs. In fact, let's take you closer in. You can see where that rain is falling. LaSalle, Mendota, down towards Streeter right now. Just starting to make an approach toward Naperville with a few sprinkles. Has yet to get close to the city, but as we get between that 8 and 9 a.m. hour, it will continue to head in our direction. And then it's going to be steady for several hours before we get a little bit of a lull, most likely mid to late afternoon, for a few hours before another round of some rain does come on in. Looking at the temperatures, 43 at O'Hare, 43 out at Midway. This is going to be a gray week, unfortunately. We're looking at no extreme cold, however, if that makes it any better. Wednesday night to Thursday, we'll be watching for a rain-snow mix. Roz?
We're looking at terrific conditions on the expressways. Enough folks have the day off for the King Day holiday that we are not seeing any delays. Now, we've had a couple of issues out there. We had a minor crash inbound on the Edens at Golf. They have just cleared it, so traffic is getting through without any hassles. We still have the situation on southbound DuSable Lakeshore Drive near Soldier Field. There is a manhole cover missing from one of the center lanes, and they've put some cones up there so people don't hit it and create another situation, a crash. But it is causing just a slight slowdown till they can get that fixed. And everything looks good on the tollways. Everything looks good on the rest of the expressways. Here's the Kennedy. It is moving well from O'Hare all the way into downtown. Val and Karen.
All right, thank you so much, Roz. Now to honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. A brand new generation of voices is echoing King's powerful message of equity and peace.
And King's inspirational words are now resonating just as powerfully, if not more so, with today's young civil rights advocates. Here's ABC News' Lindsay Davis.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and...
More than a dreamer, Martin Luther King Jr. was a visionary. And while he didn't live to see the generations he inspired, perhaps he did envision the impact of his words.
Free at last, free at last.
Gathered on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial,
I feel honored to be saying his words.
Students from Watkins Elementary School in Washington, D.C. recited his I Have a Dream speech from the very place where he delivered it. Some of them adding what still needs to be done to achieve his dream.
Another reason why Dr. King's dream has not yet come true is the disadvantages that African Americans still face.
Dr. King's legacy is also inspiring a new generation of budding artists.
I chose to have two hands holding each other and a flower growing out of them, because when we join hands, beautiful things can blossom.
We must work together to solve our problems.
Elementary school students from across the country honored Dr. King by writing their own speeches as part of the 27th annual MLK Jr. Oratory Competition.
I believe what Dr. King would say to us today about hope for tomorrow is simply do better.
11-year-old Cadence Smith won first place in Houston, offering these words of inspiration.
Don't give up. Just like Dr. King said, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. Whatever you do, you must keep moving forward.
That was beautiful, so inspirational.
And do better.
Absolutely. Our thanks to ABC's Lindsay Davis for that report. And it's so great to see these young kids carrying on this message. And they really get it, too. I love it.
You got to imagine that Dr. King is sitting down, looking down on us, and is, even though he can't see it here, is just, beaming with what his legacy is doing for the generations. And you can find a list of events throughout the city and the suburbs of what's happening around Chicagoland today at abc7chicago.com.
Well, still to stream this morning, it's cookie time. And this year, Girl Scouts are supporting other area community organizations with their Gift of Caring program. Roz is getting the download this morning with a troop leader live after the break.
Welcome back on this National Day of Service. The Girl Scouts of Greater Chicago and Northwest Indiana are kicking off cookie season with a way to give back to your community. The program is called Gift of Caring. April Morgan, a Girl Scout troop leader in Hyde Park, is here to talk about the Gift of Caring initiative. Good morning, April.
Good morning, Roz. How are you?
I'm doing very well. And yourself?
Doing well. Glad to be here today.
Well, we're happy that you're here. Why don't you explain to everybody what the Gift of Caring program is all about?
Yes, the Gift of Caring is part of our Girl Scout cookie sale program, which is done every year. It's an initiative that gives people the opportunity to support the Girl Scouts while also supporting organizations and those in our community that support us. People buy cookies, and they can purchase the packages to be donated to first responders, the men and women in our armed services, and other support organizations throughout the community. So it's a win-win.
It's a wonderful, wonderful program. How does it support both the Girl Scouts and the other deserving organizations across the community?
Sure. So the proceeds of the cookies go to support Girl Scout programming. And then the packages of cookies are donated to the various organizations and individuals like first responders and our men and women in armed services throughout the Chicagoland area.
You know, can I ask you, do you know how long this program has been around?
You know, what I know is that it's a wildly successful program. It's been around for a few years. People love it because, as we know, in January, we're all trying to get a fresh start. And so people love supporting Girl Scouts and love our cookies, but sometimes don't necessarily want to buy them for themselves. But they love the idea of the sale going to support Girl Scouts, but then also supporting other organizations and individuals in the community. So it's a great program. People love it.
The reason that I asked you that is because back in the day when I was a Girl Scout leader, there was one year where we had the girls doing like a site sale on my front lawn, and we were doing it to support the troops and to give to other communities. We were encouraging people to donate, but I don't know that it had a name at that time. And I think that it has been around, but it's just kind of evolved and it's kind of honed in, become a little bit more specific now. And I'm so grateful that this has continued and is so successful.
Yes, we are too. The Girl Scouts of Greater Chicago and Northwest Indiana, actually, our Gift of Caring program was the largest program in the country last year. And so we hope to continue with that trend this year.
So how do the cookie sales, explain that? How does it support your troop and the members? Where does some of that money go to, and what do you do with it?
Sure. So of course, Girl Scouts were known for cookies. That's kind of what we're famous for. But Girl Scouts are doing incredible things. We're leading in the community. Our girls are interested in every area from STEM to civic engagement. And so when you're supporting Girl Scouts by buying these cookies, you are actually supporting our mission of getting our girls involved and letting them explore those areas that they're passionate about so that they can change their sphere of influence. So even though, you know, we're famous for the cookies and we're happy about that, we also want to let people know that we're doing a lot of other great things, and the cookie program helps us to support those other initiatives.
Right, you are. Thank you so much, April. April Morgan with the Girl Scouts of Greater Chicago. Thanks for waking up with us and sharing about what is going on this cookie season. Always happy to have you.
Thank you.
For more information, there'll be an article posted on abc7chicago.com. How to support the Girl Scouts Gift of Caring initiative. Val and Karen will be back with more news in 90 seconds.
Eyewitness News streaming at 7 continues after a break.
And just like that,
it's over.
It's over. It has been so much fun hanging out with you here on the couch.
Yes.
And we want to thank you for hanging out with us and watching Eyewitness News at 7 a.m. I'm going to make my way over to the other studio and have news updates. Tracy Butler and Ross Barron will talk weather and traffic during Good Morning America.
We will hear from them and Val and everybody in just a moment. Have a great day, everybody.
This has been Eyewitness News, streaming at 7.
Good morning.
Rise and shine.
Sleepyhead.
Yes, that's
exciting.
what America wants.
Rise and shine with daytime's #1 talk show.
Every weekday morning.
We're live.
Go live.
We're live.
Go live.
Live with Kelly and Ryan, weekdays at 9 on ABC 7.
ABC 7 News is now streaming live and local 24/7.
Now get more newscasts, breaking news, weather, and more of the stories that matter to you.
Anytime on any screen, big or small.
The same Eyewitness News team you know and trust is expanding to bring you even more live and local coverage around the clock.
Live in Gary.
Live at City Hall. Live in Bourbonnais.
Watch our new ABC 7 Chicago 24/7 channel, now wherever you stream.
Now, an update from ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Good morning. It's 7:56. I'm Val Warner. UIC faculty and administrators have one last scheduled bargaining session today. Faculty members could go on strike tomorrow if there is no agreement. They say they have not been able to make a deal on issues like pay and student access to mental health support. We'll check weather and traffic coming up next.
Good morning. We've had a dry start to the day here in Chicago, but this is rain and it's moving into many of our far western suburbs right now. DeKalb down through the Hinckley area, and then you get into LaSalle and Streeter, far southwest down toward Dwight, and it's pretty steady rain that's falling. We're not expecting any severe weather. Temperature-wise, though, we're in the 40s. So this is going to be all rain, but a cold rain. I mean, look at some of these temperatures in the mid to upper 30s far west this morning. This afternoon, late afternoon, we get a little bit of a lull in the rain, but it comes back mid-evening. Our high temperatures for the day occurred this evening. Roz?
We start with a metro delay on the Rock Island. It's train number 606. It is stopped at 103rd because of mechanical issues. Now, the problem with this is also it's blocking the street. So the intersection of 103rd and Wood, traffic not getting through. The CTA's got to reroute the 103 West 103rd Street buses around it, and they've got police out there directing traffic. Now, fortunately, we don't have any problems like that on the expressways. Actually, we hardly have any congestion at all. We do have a tire changer southbound on the Ford near 111th. IDOT is heading over to assist.